Today I'm going to explain a very interesting chapter from your history book, and the chapter name you can see on the screen, that is Medieval Architecture. Do you know the name of a monument from where the Prime Minister of India hoists the national flag on 15th August? It is the Red Fort. It was built during the medieval period by the Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan. The medieval architecture shows fusion of various architectural styles. Many structures were constructed during that period. The medieval period had a rich culture. The architecture, painting, language, and literature showcase the culture of that time. Different type of structures were built during medieval period. Let us learn about that. So what we are going to study in this chapter, let's have a look. A look at the style of monuments, engineering skills and constructions, building temples, mosques and tanks, gardens, tombs and forts, architecture during Shah Jahan's reigns, and region and empire. So let's begin with the first part of this chapter, that is a look at the style of monuments. Monuments in the history are recognized by the architectural skill, styles and material which is used in their construction. During Mughal period, the monuments which were constructed were grand and beautiful. Marble and red stone were used, domes and arcs were built extensively. During the period between 7th and 10th centuries, the building construction styles underwent a change. There was a big change. In this period, more rooms, doors and windows were added to the monuments. Architecture of temples, 800 to 1200 CE. CE is the abbreviation for Common Era and is used to mark time. Temples were places of spiritual and religious learning. Kings built them as it displayed their wealth and faith. In fact, during 800 CE to 1200 CE, a number of temples and mosques were constructed all over the India. The structure was designed very beautifully. Between 18th and 8th century, kings and their officers built two kinds of structure. The first were forts, palaces, gardens, residences and tombs, and which they were safe, protected, gardenized and resting place. And the second structure was meant for public activity, including temple, mosque, tanks, wells and bazaars. So in this picture you can see, you are very much aware of this picture, that is Qutub Minar. One of the most famous architecture of that time is the Qutub Minar. The Qutub Minar is 5-story high. The first floor was constructed by Qutbuddin Aibak in 1192, and the rest of the stories were completed by Iltutmish around 1229 CE, that is Common Era. Over the years, it was damaged by lightning and earthquakes and was repaired by Alauddin Khalji, Muhammad Tughlaq, Firoz Shah Tughlaq and Ibrahim Lodi. Let us study about the engineering skills and the construction. Monuments provide an insight into technologies used for construction during that time. Different type of technology were used to make the building, to make the architectures, the construction more beautiful and attractive. Between 7th and 10th centuries, architects started adding more rooms, doors, windows to the building. They were still made by placing a horizontal beam across two vertical columns. The style of architecture is called tribate and corbelled. Here in this picture you can see what is tribate. Here this is the two vertical columns and you can see this style, and this is known as tribate, and it is placed just across the two vertical columns. The most important thing at that time, the two technological and stylistic developments become noticeable from 12th century. In 12th century, there were a huge change in the technology and styles in the development and construction of the buildings. And what was that? Number one, the weight of the superstructure above the doors and windows was sometimes carried by arcs. This architectural form was called arcuate. And second, the most important, that is limestone cement was increasingly used in construction. This was a very high quality cement which when mixed with some stone chips, it hardened into concrete. Moving to the next part, that is building temples, mosques and tanks. Temple and mosque were beautifully constructed because they were the place of worship. They were also meant to demonstrate the power, wealth and devotion of the patron. For example, in the Raja Rajeshwar temple, an inscription mentions that it was built by King Raja Chola for the worship of Lord Shiva. Making precious water available by constructing tanks and reservoirs were highly praised. Now here you can see this picture, this image, Hauz-i Sultani, and what is this? That Iltutmish earned universal respect by constructing a large reservoir just outside Delhi Khana, and it is called Hauz-i Sultana. Here you can see it's a great reservoir of water. Alright, now coming to the next topic, that is garden, tombs and forts. Under Mughals, architecture became more complex. Babur, Humayun, Akbar, Jahangir and especially Shah Jahan was personally interested in literature, art and architecture. Babur had a keen interest in planning and laying out formal gardens placed within rectangular wall enclosures and divided into 4 quarters by artificial channels. These gardens were called Charbagh. In this picture you can see Charbagh. Why? Because it is divided into 4 quarters by artificial channels. Because of their symmetrical division into quarters, and you can see the image of Charbagh which is having 4 quarters. Moving to the next part, architecture during Shah Jahan's reign. It was during Shah Jahan's reign that different elements of Mughal architecture were fused together in a grand harmonious synthesis. His reign witnessed a large amount of construction activity, especially in Agra and Delhi. The ceremonial hall of public and private audience were carefully planned. Audience hall was specially constructed to resemble a mosque. The pedestal on which Shah Jahan's throne was placed, it was frequently described into Qibla. In the early years of Shah Jahan's reign, his capital was at Agra. Now coming to the next part, region and empire. Sharing of ideas across regions became considerable as construction activity increased between 8th and 18th century. The traditions of one region was adopted by another. In Vijayanagara, the stables of elephant rulers were strongly influenced by the style of architecture found in adjoining sultanates of Bijapur and Golconda. So in this picture, in this image, you can clearly see these are the stable meant for the elephants. Thank you so much. Hope you understand the chapter.